So till the time everybody joins in, I'll share. I'm reading currently about a Spanish philosopher called Paulo Freire, and Paulo Freire talks about an educational philosophy which says that the education system runs like a banking system, wherein there is there is a depositor and there is a place where money gets deposited. So it is like education is top down, and we deposit education considering that children are empty vessels, and this banking system works like a system which oppresses the students. It works for the oppressors and it oppresses the students. It is just putting knowledge such that the status quo doesn't get disturbed. So just some food for thought for everybody to think about.
Siddharji,
Yes, yes, ma'am.
earlier our system was not like this. In the Guru Shishya Parampara, when if Sri Krishna went to Gurukul under tutelage of Rishi or Guru Sandipan, so they were given the freedom. Same went even under Guru Dronacharya. Nobody was forced that you need to be an archer, you need to be somebody playing the mace. They were given the freedom to choose. It's only after Macaulay got into the foray, at least in India, then we became the oppressors. Because we were oppressed, we gave the same to our children.
Yes, absolutely. There's a lot of history which I recently read. It is about Macaulay had to make a choice between what the Indian education system will look like,
Yeah.
and there was a lot of survey that happened. The people, who learned people from India said that it should be a mix of formal education and from the Gurukul system. But finally, he decided against it, and because at that time the Britishers needed more of factory workers, so he decided against it and removed the value system from the Indian education system, because they felt that if that will be there, then Indians don't need anybody else,
Yeah.
because the Indian education system was education for life. So
Right.
it's a very, when I read it, it was very, very interesting. It gave me a lot of insights.
Yeah.
Superb. So looking forward to this wonderful CC Fridays. I think we are meeting after a long time. Big congratulations to all the professional development toppers from the schools. I think the broadcast was out last couple of days, and you must have received them. There are some really, really nice articles that Ashwini has selected from various areas. There's a very, very interesting podcast, which is like a YouTube channel. It's not a podcast, but a YouTube channel from Devika Nadik from Shikshangan. Some of us have attended trainings from Shikshangan. Her YouTube sessions are really interesting. Do take out some time to look at them. Ashwini, will you put up the question answer on so that if anybody has any questions? Yes, you have some ground rules to read, and then we will start from there.
Yeah, it is on, sir. And I'll just read out the ground rules for everyone. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to CC Friday, episode 60. I'll just read out the ground rules. Be attentive throughout the session. Keep your camera on whenever possible. At the end of the session, we will be asked a couple of questions through a feedback form. I'll be sharing a feedback form. Credits will be given on the basis of the feedback form. Asking questions will be appreciated. I have turned on the Q&A option. You can ask anonymously or by your name, no problem. Wheel of names will be used to give a star and a wish at the end of the session. And yes, this session is not compulsory for everyone. If you have any issues, you can directly mail it to me or message it to me. Thank you so much. I guess we can start, sir.
So over to Jayashree and Sucheta ma'am for today's session.
Thank you, sir. Sucheta ma'am, you are presenting, right?
Ma'am, may I present? Actually, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, please.
Good evening to everyone. Welcome to the 60th episode of CC Friday. Before we begin, I'd like to have a quick round of introduction. I'm Sucheta Roy, and I teach political science in grade 11 and 12, DPS Nashik. I am also the coordinator for the senior wing. Along with me, I have Jayashree ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm Jayashree Patil. I'm taking computers and IP for grade 10 and 11, and I'm also looking after pre-primary wing as a coordinator. Thank you, Sucheta ma'am.
Right. So as we can see in the first slide, we have the school vision in front of us, which says that Delhi Public School is a community where teachers strive, every learner thrives, and parents radiate with pride. This is an ethos which we are following in all the three sister concerns. And if we look at the left side, we can see the various attributes that we are working towards. That is our focus. But sometimes in our day-to-day jobs, when we are trying to focus or look at these various attributes, we tend to negate, or rather we do not see it as a holistic thing. So recently we started integrating, or rather bringing these various attributes together in our various subjects through the various lesson plans and various activities which we are planning in the term 2. So as you can see, critical thinking, dynamic, or creative, or ingenious, these are various attributes which we have tried to inculcate in our various subjects. And this gives a concerted effort, or rather we can consciously work towards it through our various lessons or the plans that we have made.
Thank you, ma'am. Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I may remember. Involve me and I will learn. Jai Hind, everyone. Let's start today's CC Friday, student engagement at its best, with this powerful quote of Benjamin Franklin. Let us take a few minutes to calm our mind and body to ensure maximum participation and learning out of today's session. I request you all to please close your eyes and listen to the bell as I invite it. Thank you, everyone. As we proudly quote and live by the vision of our school, that DPS is a community where teachers strive, every learner thrives, and parents radiate with pride. Today, I am going to show you certain moments of our students' engagement and active engagement in the classroom. Before I take you to a short journey of our students' learning experiences in this academic year, I would like you all to participate in a quick Padlet activity. Sucheta ma'am, over to you.
Yes, so I'll be sharing this link with everyone. Let's go to this link and answer the question which is given there. Please access the chat box and go to this link. I hope all can access it. The question given is, how can we engage students? So in the past couple of months, we have been focusing on engaging our children. But how are we doing that? Let's see what answers we can get here. We'll take 2 minutes. Please participate so that we can all get our views in one place. That's interesting. I can see group work, different activities, motivational stories, question answer sessions, engaging activities, learning by doing, practical life examples. Yes, PBL, SLC, very true. Making them feel as part of our class, experiential learning, project-based learning, very true. These are some of the strategies which we are following in our classrooms. Peer teaching, very true. Class appropriate activities, talking about current happenings, very true, very interesting. Thank you for participating. As you can see, these are various ways by which we are already engaging our children or making them active in the classroom. There's another link which I'd like to share with everyone. It's shared in the chat box. It's a Mentimeter link. There's a question asked, what are the benefits of student engagement? Please try attempting it.
आप देखे थे पंडित जी को?
Millie ma'am, please mute.
Okay, I can see a lot of words are coming up. Okay, I can see active engagement, togetherness, learn by doing, joy of learning, happiness, learning from mistakes, maximum learning. Very true. These are some of the benefits that we get. Joy of learning. I don't know how to make this bigger. Holistic development, inclusive learning. Learning becomes easy, very true. These are some of the benefits that we do see when we engage our children in our classrooms. So let's look at some of the strategies that we have implemented in DPS Nasik.
Thank you.
Jayashree ma'am, over to you.
Thank you everyone for your active participation. As you have mentioned, many strategies which we do in all three campuses to engage our learners in the classes. Now let's see what we do at DPS Nasik. The first attribute we have tried to inculcate in our DIP site is to make them confident orators and effective communicators. Students in DPS Nasik participate in activities like peer teaching through flipped classrooms, where they interchange the roles with their teachers and teach their classmates the concepts which are complex. Let's watch a video of grade 4 studying maths.
Now, Alukta, please read the question. question is 25 girls and 20 boys are participating in the march past of the Courts Day. How many kinds of equal rows can they make so that each row still has only girls and only boys? So now we made rows of future.
Here in the video, as you can see, the student is explaining the concept of factors with the help of the students. You can see they are standing in rows, and she is explaining the concept of factors. She is also calling some children on the board to explain what they have understood, and this way students take the roles as a teacher and they explain it to peers, because when the peers teach us, it is something which we understand in a better way. As you can see, the girl is coming ahead and explaining the factors.
Then 2, then it is 5 and then the number itself. Now and 5. 5 only has 2 factors. 1 and the number.
Why it has only 2 factors?
Because it is a prime.
So every prime number has only
2 factors. Now
Next video, we shall see that we encourage more participation and remove the fear of making mistake. We celebrate these mistakes and encourage children to participate more.
Okay, how many of you? And who all say incorrect, stand up. It's okay because mistakes are. Take the mistakes. So everyone thinks there is a mistake, there is an error. I want to correct, stand up first. Thank you for working for them. Very nice.
As you can see in the video, the teacher is teaching the concept of subtraction with the help of word problem, and the student is explaining the answer and how she reached to that answer. But when she explained, the answer is wrong. But to motivate, as she participated with wholeheartedly, so to motivate, that teacher is giving her motivation by saying that we celebrate mistake, even though the answer is wrong, it's okay, but participation is more important. So this way we also encourage children to participate and celebrate the mistakes which we are doing, because mistakes are something which shows that we are learning. Next, this year, our goal is to reach out to every child and to treat each and every DIP site as our own child, which also means that we need to give them the equal opportunities to every young learner in the class. And this attribute is something which develops inquisitiveness in our students to make them responsible global citizens of tomorrow. As you can see in the images, we practice several methods for the same. As you can see, lolly lotto images in the picture. So we have all these this kind of lolly lotos made in every class, which ensures that every child gets the opportunity to answer in the class. Apart from this lolly lotto, we also make use of response sheets and flashcards, which also helps the teacher to get the quick responses of her questions, and she gets the quick reflection. As you can see here, students are working in a group, they are solving math sum, and they are making use of response sheets over here. This quickly helps to give the answer in a group. Next, we have 4-3-2-1 game, in which this is basically a strategy which teacher uses once she is done with the topic. And once the topic is done, she asks children to raise the hands with numbers depicting 1 to 4. Now, what these numbers 1 to 4 mean? If the child is showing 4, it means that the child has understood the topic very well and he or she can explain it to others. If the number 3 is shown, it shows that the child has understood the topic but not very confident to explain it to others. When number 2 shows that the student has partially understood the topic, and 1 shows that the topic needs to be retaught. So teacher immediately gets the feedback for the topic which she had just executed in the class with this wonderful activity. Apart from all these, quick responses are something which encouraged by the teacher. This also helps the children to recap the concepts which the teacher has taught. Now, another reflective practice which you can see on the screen, which we use with the help of sticky notes. Here are some images of the same. As a teacher, I have observed that when we have this sticky notes, the learners can also glance it, and the teacher also gets a reflection of the topic which she has taught very effectively in the class, which is visible. Also, learners can go through it, and the teacher also gets the immediate feedback with this. So this is the another reflective practice which we use. Now, as you can see, next practice which each one of us is using is active learning strategies in the classroom to engage every learner. Now, as the name itself suggests, active learning strategy means involving 100% participation of the students in teaching learning process. I would like you to show some glimpses of the active learning strategies that we implement in classes to ensure active participation of every learner. Now here, as you can see, the Basket Me activity is conducted by English educator, where she is teaching the parts of the speech in the class, and she has given some words full of basket to each and every group, and then she asked students to identify the different parts of speech, and the children are coming ahead and explaining it in a group. After identifying an explanation is done, you can see the children are putting it into the different pockets as per the parts of the speech which they have identified. So this is an interesting way and involving every learner in this process. Now, as you can see, the next activity is again on the same topic, parts of the speech, but it is conducted for grade 5, where to make it little more innovative, the teacher has given the sentences to each and every group, and children have identified the parts of the speech. Now, to make it interesting, once they have identified, they have stick it on the board, and in a group they have identified those parts of the speech with the help of string and thumb pins. Similarly, we use many active learning strategies. One of them is rainbow activity, as you can see here. Similarly, to make the children read, we have conducted these newspaper activities mostly in all the subjects where the topic is taught through reading through the newspaper, and then they have given their reflection. Next practice, as we all know, learning through 5 senses leaves a deep impact on the student. Yes, it is nothing but experiential learning. In EVS grade 5, students have lessons based on the culture, food habits, monuments, and technological and tourist development of now and then. In the 4 metro cities of India, we wore this lesson and achieved the learning objectives of this lesson through an experiential learning method and planned the Golden Quadrilateral. This Golden Quadrilateral turned out to be very fruitful event, which proved to be as an opportunity for the holistic development of the DIP sites. It also helped us to inculcate important attributes in our students, which are adaptability, pride for one's country, and to make them critical thinkers. Please have a look at some of the images as I take you through. Unity in diversity is celebrated here as we set up all 4 metro stations depicting the 4 metro cities of India. They showcased food, art, dance, forms, culture, and monuments and lifestyle of the respective cities. The students learned that the beauty of life lies in having pluralistic attitude towards one another and living in harmony. Parent involvement and participation was tremendous in this. Please have a look at some of the images. Moving ahead, connecting with real world through practical approach, and we all do that with the help of PBL. The next activity, which is PBL, which focuses on making our students problem solver, innovative thinkers, and readers. The big question for grade 3 was how to avoid food wastage. There was a string of activities to encourage research and come up with the ideas which was conducted by the students to stop the food wastage, wherein an interview of canteen owner was conducted.
How hygiene is maintained in the
Similarly, to understand and how the parents are also, due to some negligent behavior, how we are wasting food in the home. So the parent interview was also conducted by grade 3 children. As you can see, one of them is here.
morning, I am telling you new questions left to answer it.
Okay.
What was your meal today?
Today in breakfast we had chapati, sabji, fruits, and a glass of milk.
Was
So this way, every child conducted the interview of the parent and motivated them not to waste the food. Apart from these interviews and understanding and motivating others not to waste the food, a rally was carried out around the school to spread awareness of one's food habits. As you can see, the children are moving with the posters which they have made. And furthermore, these students also visited the classes and encouraged their peers to stop food wastage. Grade 3 students also made use of digital media to create the awareness posters to stop the food wastage, as you can see in the images. And these posters were then circulated to peers, friends, and their relatives of by grade 3 DIP sites. Now, as you can see, this is a practical approach which we have done today only. Like children of grade 3 visited the food donation drive which was arranged, and as you can see, they are understanding and they are also giving the food to the needy people. Here are some images of it. As we all know, engaging children with the larger community allows students to feel and to get their learning more meaningful. So this is one way which we did with grade 3, and this year we have decided to continue with all our PBL activities throughout the year, so that students get more practical approaches and they help out the community. Similarly, an initiative by grade 4 was done. The main question of grade 4 was how the honeybees can shape an ecosystem and why we need to protect them. So for this, the students first visited an apiculture farm to see how the honeybees function and gather honey. The facilitator also explained to them the importance of honeybees in our ecosystem and the reasons to protect them. Once the children have done this visiting of the apiculture farm, to create an awareness for saving these honeybees, the students also visited and performed a Nukkad Natak for the farmers in the nearby vegetable market. These are some images of that. The young DIP sites further plan to visit and spread awareness in the neighboring village, where they can do their little bit for a society at large. Next, we have grade 5, wherein the big question for grade 5 was how to stop polluting Godavari river. Here also the students visited the banks of the river and its neighborhood. They interviewed the devotees, caretakers of the temple about how and why the river has got polluted over the years. After gathering the information and doing research on ways to prevent the pollution, they came up with the ideas to make people aware of the same. They conducted rallies, made posters and creatives. These are some images when they visited the Godavari river. And now, to help out the community to reach out to the people, on the auspicious day of Ganesh Chaturthi, they took a golden opportunity to educate the locals of people of the Nasik. At various crowded locations, the students came together in group to encourage the masses to use natural clay idols and to avoid immersing the idol in the river. The young dip sites also furthermore provided information about the ill effects of immersing the idol in the river, and that can hamper the pollution, and that may result into the pollution of the river. This is one video how they have motivated the masses to use the natural clay idol. And children were speaking in Marathi. Many of you might have not understood. They are motivating the masses not to immerse the idol in the river, and they are explaining they are from which school and why they are here. As one of the attribute DPS wishes to inculcate in its students is to create change makers and develop good citizens of tomorrow. This cleanliness and awareness drive certainly was a good way to reach out to the people for a good cause. The parents joined hands with their children to make this awareness drive a successful one. The devotees, including the people of municipal corporation, appreciated the hard work and dedication of the dip sites. Next, ma'am. It was truly the day when the DPS teachers thrived, our students thrived, and to make a difference. Suchita ma'am, next image. It was truly a day when, as you can see, the parents, teachers, and students all are there in the image. So for us, it was truly a day where DPS teachers thrived, our students thrived to make a difference, and their parents radiated with pride. A journey of 1,000 miles begin with a single step, and it seems we have taken it in the right direction. That's all from my side. Thank you for patiently listening to me. Over to you, Suchita ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. So as we could see, there were so many different ways by which we could engage our children in the lower grades. Now we move on to the higher grades, and subject integration is one of the methods by which we can engage our children and make them more vigilant in the classes. So what is subject integration and why do we need it? It is basically crossing over the line between different subject matters and emphasizing on unifying the concepts instead. What and how can it help? We can see that it encourages and motivates our children through the practical experiences, making it more interesting and lively. It fosters creativity, critical thinking, and collaboration. It also encourages our students to learn same or similar themes from different subjects together. ICT integration was one of the ways by which in political science we tried to integrate the lesson Contemporary South Asia. Now it becomes a little challenging in higher grades how to make a chapter interesting. So data from a primary source was utilized, and that was the content was shared with the children, and they turned it into a graph in a spreadsheet. And this was first demonstrated to them by Jayashree ma'am, and then the children were given Chromebooks through which they presented in the classes. These are some of the, this is one of the data which was presented to the children. These are some images of the classes, of the classroom. In this video, you will see how the subject was integrated.
So what we're going to do is, there is a data or a census which was conducted in each of these countries to identify and see how democracy is preferred over other forms of government, okay, in each of these 7 countries. So we have data related to it. It was searched from a valid website. So we are going to see how that data can be represented through a graph. Okay, we have Jayashree ma'am who will be guiding us with that. And after that, we'll be doing some activity.
So I will be showing you how the data which we have, and we have taken the data of index.
Right. So this was one of the first sessions that was conducted. We can see here how the data was presented, and then the children were given Chromebooks. Okay, just see this as well.
You can see here that just now I showed you the map, different South Asia countries. So these are the names of the countries, and you can see the rank, overall score, then electoral process and pluralism, functioning of government, political participation and political culture, and civil liberties. So these are the different factors which are mentioned in the data. Now, if I want
These are some images of the classroom work which was done after presenting the spreadsheet to the children. They themselves worked upon the data and then they presented it in the class.
Basically, India has the highest ranking and participate. You can see data from there. Yeah. So, like the lowest rank is Pakistan, and then and democracy index, the total process tourism is also again highest for India. And then democracy index functioning of the government is highest for India because its rank is okay. Great, thank you.
Right, so apart from ICT integration, music is one area which is very close to my heart. Though we don't, in fact, it becomes very difficult to integrate music with our subjects, being subjects which are mostly theoretical. However, there are a lot of benefits of integrating music because it helps to reduce stress, anxiety, it boosts our memory, it helps improving our brain functioning, and so many more benefits. So one of our topics in political science was taken up as for music integration. So the children decided, one of them brought the guitar, all of them sat together, they wrote the lyrics, and this is how they went about it. They made a song on the topic of Nepal. So I'd like to present a short video on how the children sang it. Right, apart from subject integration, we have many other ways by which we can encourage our children to be participative in the class. Group work is one of the methods. So we can see FRAIR model being used in Marathi class in grade 9. Further on, we can see the chapter of Olympics was conducted again through group activity. Group work done in Sanskrit where active and passive voice was presented to the children. They had to work on it, change active to passive and vice versa. Group work and active learning was followed in the subject of maths in grade 9 and 10, where children are divided into groups and various problem sums are given to them and they solve it together. You can see graph work being done and other problem sums being covered by the children. Once they finish the activity, then one or two of them come up on the board and they present it so that everybody is at the same page. Interviewing is another method by which we can encourage our children to be engaged. So here we can see the chapter, the interview was covered in grade 12, where all the grade 12 children came together and wanted to interview Siddharth sir. They asked questions to sir, and sir obligingly he answered, and the children were very motivated and encouraged through this activity. Peer teaching is another method by which we can engage our children. So here we can see some mind maps being used by the children. They came up, the topic again was divided among the children. Each of them presented in the class. The entire chapter was presented topic wise. They used mind maps. They even prepared PPTs and they presented. And this is how the entire chapter was covered. Though, yes, it did take a little longer time, but it made the chapter more interesting because they themselves are part of it. So to provide an uncommon experience for our students, they will surely reward us with an uncommon effort and attitude. And the ultimate engagement is to put the learner in charge of the learning. With this, I'd like to end our presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sucheta ma'am and Jayashree ma'am. I think both of you were absolutely brilliant. Some great learnings from what you've shared today. There's one question, I think, Jayashree, this is for you. It is, please explain the 2 to 4 strategy again, if possible. I think the active learning strategies that you were talking about, if you can go to the 2 to 4. So after this, Bharti ma'am, I will come to you.
Sorry, that was by mistake actually. I thought if means our wing is allowed to answer, I was supposed to answer that, not the question.
So actually these activities are conducted by Deepa ma'am. If Deepa ma'am is there, I would like her to answer, otherwise I will explain.
Thank you, Jayashree ma'am. Yes, I would like to go ahead. Ma'am, here when it is said that 2 is to 4, one group, when it does the work for one sentence, is sharing it with the other one. So hence it is that the knowledge from the 2, one group, that is 2, it's going to 4. So the increasing knowledge of the same sentence. I hope it made you have understood, ma'am.
No, I think, can you be a little more specific, Deepa ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. For example, the sentence which is being displayed here, Jay loves to read, he is smart. This work was by group A. When this work is done by group A, it explains the same thing to group B, C, and D. Hence, it is sharing the knowledge of that same sentence to other students, that Jay is a noun, read is a verb, why it is in that sentence, and which place it takes. So the sharing of knowledge from students to more students, this is the concept here.
Sucheta ma'am, one more is there before this. No, that only, yes. One before this, ma'am. Yes, this is the same activity which was again conducted by Deepa ma'am only in grade 4, where she was taking parts of the speech she was teaching to the children. And as you can see, the children are holding some words in the hand. So she gave some words to the children and she asked them to make a sentence and identify the different parts of the speech of those words. Once the children have identified it in a group, and she made this beautiful packets where the children have kept it as per the parts of the speech. Then there was another activity. Ma'am, please go ahead and next 2 to 4 after that. This rainbow activity. Bharti ma'am, you want to explain this? Neeru ma'am?
जी, गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन। यस मैम, रेनबो एक्टिविटी में हम क्या करते हैं, हम अलग अलग कलर्स के ये पेपर्स बनाकर, कटआउट्स बनाकर बच्चों को देते हैं, जहां हम उन्हें विषय बता देते हैं कि ग्रुप में बच्चों को बिठाया जाता है पहले, और उन्हें कार्य सौंप दिया जाता है कि क्या क्या कार्य उन्हें करना है। फिर अलग अलग कलर्स दिए जाते हैं, हर ग्रुप से एक बच्चा उस कलर के साथ आता है और दिए गए कार्य को, यदि माइंड मैप बताया गया है, ब्लू कार्य पर प्रश्न बताए गए हैं, तो वो उनको आकर के अपने कलर्स के अनुसार एक्सप्लेन करते हैं। सो बहुत सारे कलर्स भी हो जाते हैं और बच्चे अलग अलग रंगों से आकर्षित भी होते हैं। तो दिस इज कॉल्ड रेनबो एक्टिविटी, जो कि पहले समूह में होती है, फिर बच्चे एक एक करके आकर उन्हें एक्सप्लेन करते हैं, हर ग्रुप से एक बच्चा। जी।
Yes,
I think
Niruma, there is one more activity, newsletter activity, which is yours only, I think, na?
यस
Newspaper
मैम,
activity.
यस मैम, न्यूज़पेपर एक्टिविटी में बच्चों को समाचार पत्र बांट दिए जाते हैं समूह में, बच्चों को बिठा करके। ये भी पहले समूह में कार्य होता है। बच्चे जो हैं हेडलाइंस को पढ़ते हैं, फिर वहां से पढ़े गए एक एक, फिर उन्हें एक एक पैराग्राफ पढ़ने के लिए प्रेरित किया जाता है। पढ़ने के पश्चात बच्चों को कहा जाता है कि वहां से जो मुख्य समाचार उन्हें लग रहे हैं, उन्हें दिए गए चार्ट पर उन्हें चिपकाना है। इसके पश्चात एक और एक्टिविटी इसी में ही समावेशित की जाती है, जो कि है छोटे छोटे शब्द एक पैराग्राफ से बच्चों को ढूंढने हैं। लिंग बदलो, वचन बदलो के शब्द, शब्द भंडार के छोटे छोटे शब्द, लिंग है, वचन है, अनेकार्थी है, एक अर्थक है, वो छात्रों की कक्षा के अनुसार उन्हें छांटने होते हैं और कक्षा में एक एक करके बताने होते हैं। मतलब एक ग्रुप से एक बच्चा लिंग बताएंगे, फिर अगले पैराग्राफ से बच्चे वचन बदलो बताएंगे, विलोम शब्द बताएंगे, पर्यायवाची शब्द। तो रीडिंग के साथ साथ ग्रामर पार्ट भी हो जाता है। जी, धन्यवाद मैम।
Thank you, ma'am, sir. I hope the question is answered.
Yes, I think Sunanda ma'am, you would like to ask anything else? Great. Okay, super. So, anybody else? I think both the presentations were really interesting. What the way Sucheta ma'am showed the use of music and real data. I think the primary source is a very very key component. अगर हम especially social studies की class में अगर primary sources use कर पाएं, it will really help the students to think, make the learning meaningful. जयश्री ने जो अपनी presentations में दिखाया, the way the big questions जो अलग अलग थे on zero hunger and Godavari cleaning and the beehive. I think the really interesting part was that how the primary wing really got parents to get working. I think that was very very interesting. I feel that in the beginning maybe थोड़ा सा उनका task difficult था, but when the parent buy-in came, parents did a lot of work. I think the Godavari cleaning में a lot of work parents did. A lot of work parents did for, I think, various other things. I think that is very, very interesting. That is something that I would like everybody to really take from this, that how can we bring in that parent participation. And I think maybe, Jayashri or somebody from that wing would like to answer. What do you think was peculiar? How do you think you could get the parent partnership involved, or large numbers में parents आए कैसे? That is a question जो हम लोग हमेशा करते हैं कि भाई parent नहीं आते. What different did happen कि parents आए और अच्छे numbers, decent numbers में आए and voluntarily आए?
Sir, I would like my team members to answer, because the credit goes to each and every member of my team. So if they did not, then I will take it ahead. Gunjan ma'am, Pallavi ma'am, anyone would like to answer? Sania ma'am. Okay, so I will take up the question. Like, sir, in all the grade 3, 4 and 5, all the activities which we have conducted, where we have done a little bit for the community, and that is the main thing which parents like, because apart from studies, they want their children to be involved in such activities where they can be actually give something to the community. And then when we planned it properly, when we inform them ki what, why, and how we are doing it. And then majority of the work was done by them. As you can see in the images, everywhere the parents are there. When we visited apiculture center, parents came along with the children. They managed the complete trip. We were just there with the children, and everything was done by the parents. Similarly, today's food donation drive, we took children from school, but parents directly came there, and this we did it for the first time. This we are going to do it continuously. We are not going to stop, like grade 3 only has this PBL question, so we will not do it for other classes. We will be taking it ahead. The parents and the children are also getting involved into it. So this is a good thing, and all these suggestions, again, I will tell, all are from my team. So the complete credit goes to the parents and my team. Thank you, sir.
So Prajakta wanted to say something. Prajakta, I think you have a very interesting point. Would you like to share that?
Yes,
Prajakta,
sir. Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir. So it was the Ganesh festival, which is very close to the heart of especially people in Maharashtra, and they were convinced that it should be eco-friendly, and immersing a very large idol in the river may cause pollution, and chemicals are mixed in the colors and things like that. So they were convinced on that part, and I could see where we went on a drive like on the Visarjan day. And even if they had the Visarjan at their places, like everybody has the Visarjan at their home also, but still they took out time to come, and they were also along with the children convincing others that they should donate the idols. And I really witnessed it. So I think that really counted on the parent convincing part.
So what you're saying is that when we would, हमें parents को तब involve करना चाहिए जब वो जो event है वो local context में already established है और parents उसमें बहुत actively ऐसे ही part लेते हैं. तो उस वैसा कुछ drive में अगर आप involve करेंगे तो parent readily आ जाएंगे, and that could be the first breaker. And उसके बाद maybe they might get involved in other programs as well. I think this is something very, very interesting that you're sharing, Prajakta. Great, superb. Very nice, very nice. Anybody else would like to add? I think Pushpi ma'am is there. Mukesh sir, if you're there. Anupama ma'am. Any other questions anyone has? Okay, in the chat, I think Sanya ma'am is saying that students convince their parents to join. Bharti ma'am is saying for Godavari cleaning, they were...
So can I add a little on this?
Yes, sure, go ahead.
Yes, so I actually feel that as Prajakta said, that this festival is really close to their heart, and they knew on the whole that they are doing something really beautiful. And we encourage our students to go home and talk to their parents while they're having their dinner. So on the dinner table, at the dinner table, when they talk, they share of whatever good practices they are having, whatever they are doing. The students automatically convince their parents to get them involved in the activities. So, and when we talk about community outreach, it comes very naturally when students are involved, the parents also readily want to help. So, when we say it is a student-centric approach, obviously the parents then come and help on their own. They don't need to be convinced. They are convinced at the dinner table by their children itself.
Right. Very interesting. Right, and also Bharti ma'am says that for Godavari cleaning, they were encouraging to see teachers taking efforts. Right. So yes, I think अगर कोई एक local festival रहता है and something meaningful, I think then everybody really comes along because that is meaningful for everyone, not just. So it's really important what we pick up, right? So some two more things I would like to add. One of this is something that I learned from Pritika, is whenever we do PBLs, let us avoid using the word PBL for the parents or students. Unko PBL nahi bolte. PBL is a vocabulary for us as teachers, right? उनके लिए हम बोलते हैं कि let us see how we can clean Godavari. Let us see how how honeybees contribute to our environment. Let us see how we can make Varanasi, Nasik or Nagpur a place where there is no hunger problems. That will be more meaningful because then आप directly big question के बारे में उनसे बात कर रहे हो. बट जैसे ही हम पीबीएल बोलते हैं तो पेरेंट को लगता है अच्छा इट्स जस्ट अनदर एक्टिविटी, बच्चे को लगता है इट इज जस्ट अनदर एक्टिविटी. सो लेट अस नॉट यूज द वर्ड पीबीएल विथ while we are talking to students or while we are talking to parents. Let us use the big question and talk on that, right? I think it will be very, very meaningful. And if we use the word PBL, then lagta hai ki it's just an activity. What are the thoughts of others on this? Anybody would like to share on this? Sonal, Roli Didi, if you would like to unmute and share. Anybody else?
Yes, indeed. This is a good suggestion that we should not be using PBL word for students because actually students do not understand. They are answering a big question. Whatever activities they are doing, they are answering the big question. So this is right that this vocabulary is meant for teachers and not for students. So we'll also try and follow this mistake we did recently. I mean, I've just culminated the activity, so we'll also try and follow in the next one. Thank you.
Right. Hey, let us celebrate mistakes. So let us use that as learning opportunities. Yes, Sonal ma'am.
Definitely true. So I agree with what you have just said. Because if we give terminology to something, it becomes kind of monotonous and boring sometimes. And if we use different strategies to get this done from the children, then definitely they will not do it as a task. They will do it as a interesting, fun activity, not as a task to be completed. Because now what I see is when we say PBL, बच्चों को लगता है हाँ PBL करना है, खत्म करना है. It is not like that. And if you're not giving the terminology to that thing, then it becomes an activity, interesting activity, which children also think कि नहीं हाँ ये कुछ नया है, इसको करना चाहिए. So yes, I agree. We must use this strategy. We must not call PBL in front of children or the parents.
Right. No, in fact, when you think of it, it is really true for any other strategy. The strategies are basically for educators. बच्चों को उसका नाम बताने की जरूरत नहीं है. वो तो बच्चों के लिए अगर आप नाम बता देते हैं, then it becomes an activity. अगर आप नाम नहीं बताते, then it will become an experience that they will remember, right? Yes, I think what Munmun ma'am says is that we are doing PBL to answer real world problems. So instead of using the word PBL, it will be so much more meaningful. अगर हम बोलेंगे कि भाई, what's I think one of the projects that happened that we reached out and we were trying to find that how monkeys are creating a menace in the city of Varanasi. अब उसको हमने PBL project बोल दिया तो वो एक activity बन गया. But if we say that we are finding a problem. Yes, Sunanda ma'am would like to talk about. Yes, Sunanda ma'am.
Sir, I'll give you one example. This year, in SDG, we are doing the same thing. That is PBL only. But we are not saying this is PBL. We are saying that we are going to solve the real world problem. So they're doing it so happily.
Absolutely. Yes. The SDGs to save the world is nothing but a PBL, but we are not calling it a PBL, and it is so much more meaningful to them, Yes, absolutely. I think that's a very, very valid point. So let us try and do that. Let us try and keep the education vocabulary to ourselves. And जब बच्चों के लिए हम कुछ उसका नाम दें तो इंटरेस्टिंग नाम दे, दूसरा नाम दे, और नाम नहीं भी दे, और why we are doing it, link it to the why. बहुत important है कि वो कर रहे हैं तो why क्यों कर रहे हैं. I think if we link it to the why, it will really, really be interesting. Yes, Bharti ma'am, you would like to talk about celebrating mistakes. Let's give us some anecdotes how a teacher in the class can celebrate mistakes on a day-to-day basis? What is required for that? What should the classroom environment look like? What are the do's and don'ts of the teacher?
Thank you, Jayashree ma'am. Thank you, sir, so much for giving this opportunity. Yes, as a maths teacher, I would like to say that mistakes, error, and fear, I should say it is the biggest obstacle for a child to come forward. And since years, I was doing that. Like we will never allow the child कि अरे गलती हो गई, mistake हो गया. But recently, I have come to understand, I have really known it, that mistakes are allowed. And once we allowed the children, we started speaking it like a slogan that mistakes are allowed, mistakes are allowed. Let me tell you, we are really doing wonders and miracles. Children are enthusiastically coming and they had a fear कि नहीं अगर मैं answer बताऊंगा, because maths is the subject. We don't solve on the board. We write a sum. We call the children that you have to solve the sum. So previously we used to observe that only 2 or 3% those who know the answer will come forward. But since the time we started telling them mistakes are allowed, almost 90 to 95% students are coming forward and they are solving the sums. Now maybe many of them are not doing mistakes. They are correct. क्यों? क्योंकि उनके अंदर से ये fear निकल गया कि मैं मिस्टेक करूंगा तो कोई हंसेगा मेरे ऊपर. More than that, even when they are committing the mistake, with that mistake, like let's suppose if a Rajiv has done 90 minus 35 is 60. Sorry, whatever numbers I'm taking. So we are not telling you are wrong. Then we are calling another children to correct if is right or wrong. So with that mistake, another child is learning that 0 minus 5 is not 5 or 0, but we have to regroup. So two things I want to highlight here, that when we are allowing children to commit the mistake, उनके अंदर एक confidence आ रहा है कि yes, I will go in front, I can solve the sums. We can see that most of them are correct. Second thing, with the mistakes, we can see others are learning कि मुझे ये नहीं करना है. And amazingly, when someone is doing mistakes, it is not allowed कि other will make fun या उसको dominate कर रहा है, but others are clapping for it कि thank you for doing the mistakes, because from your mistakes I learn. Lastly, I would conclude, Director sir is also guided and we are doing it. All the maths teachers, I will say, sometimes we do the mistake. कभी कभी गलती से हो जाती है. Sometimes purposely we'll do the mistake, and then we are asking children how it is. So then children can think yes, teachers can also do the mistakes. So in maths, it is going amazing when we are allowing them to do the mistake. We can see performance is getting better and better. Confidence level is also increasing, and children का जो fear था, that is gone away. Thank you so much. I hope I fulfilled this.
Great. Thank you, Bharti ma'am. I think very important. I think one thing which you've shared is generally हम classrooms में देखते हैं कि बच्चे आगे आकर के बोलने में या बोर्ड पे करने में, जब सीनियर क्लासेस में जैसे जैसे बच्चे जाने लगते हैं, you will see that there is a hesitation to come on the board. अगर वो बोर्ड पे आ रहा है तो it is like a punishment that the child has got, you know. And this approach ki mistakes are something which are celebratory, like I think Bharti ma'am identified कि वो उसका self confidence को बढ़ाता है, and वो self confidence earlier age में बढ़ना बहुत जरूरी है. अगर वो बढ़ जाता है ना तो आगे a lot of problems will not happen. A lot of problems happen and children feel a fear because हम उसको बोलते हैं नहीं ये गलत है, नहीं ये गलत है, नहीं ये गलत है, नहीं ये गलत है, and because of that उसको एक self confidence और self esteem जो है धीरे धीरे करके कम होता रहता है. I think that is something that that is the deeper meaning why we should celebrate mistakes, and I think you've really picked that up. So that is very beautiful, and it's this is not something that I have propagated or anything. I think this is something which is essential. बहुत हम हर समय ये नहीं करना है बोल करके आई थिंक हम एक बहुत फियर या सॉर्ट ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट सेटअप करते हैं जिससे कि बहुत लोग आगे नहीं आते. आई थिंक दैट इज रियली इंपॉर्टेंट दैट वी डोंट डू दैट. जस्ट वन लास्ट अनाउंसमेंट बिफोर वी क्लोज. We've understood at the school that teachers, students, parents are all very important stakeholders to the school. And हर एक जो एस्पेक्ट है, पेरेंट हो चाहे टीचर हो चाहे बच्चे हो, सब लोग इक्वल इम्पोर्टेंस प्ले करते हैं एक स्कूल को ग्रो करने में. Another thing that we've understood that one of the biggest factors for a school to be viewed. सामने वाले की नजर में एक स्कूल अच्छा स्कूल कब माना जाता है? When the school is able to inform its parent body of what it is doing and involve its parent body in things that it is doing. ये दो बहुत important parameter हैं for the parent to judge that the school is good or not good. Parent को फर्क नहीं पड़ता कि स्कूल के अंदर क्या हो रहा है. He or she wants to be informed and involved. Right? These are two very, very important things. And in that process, what we've understood कि आप लोग, all of us are working really, really hard. We are putting in a lot of effort in our professional development. So in the longer run, the school would like to invest to develop our own teams of parenting, and we would like to invest in that. Your school heads might have shared with you a circular regarding an opening for a school parenting coach. So we are going to involve one parenting coach in each school, who will be picked up from the existing team, and we will work with those parenting coaches to develop a program such that हम जितनी भी नई चीजें स्कूल में कर रहे हैं, we make a mechanism to get the parents informed and involved in that entire process. So those of you who are keen to develop yourself and keep the parents involved in this process, you must look out for this opportunity. अगर वो आपके पास फॉर्म नहीं आया होगा तो आपके पास आज शाम तक या कल तक वो 100% आ जाना चाहिए. And the last date of sending your applications is 2nd of October. Right? We would then do a small interview process, and then we will finalize this parenting team. So thank you so much. Thank you to Jayashree ma'am and Sucheta ma'am for the wonderful presentations today. Thank you to all the people. A special thank you to all the people for keeping their cameras on. Last couple of minutes to Ashwini for the wheel, and then we will close. Okay, you can run the wheel, Ashwini. And what is the question that you have to ask? Let's see who's the lucky one. Ashwini, घुमाओ भाई. So Vaibhav ma'am, would you like to share some really interesting things from today's session for you? Vaibhav ma'am, are you there? Okay, Ashwini, let's do another one.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
No problem. Yes.
I'm trying to unmute myself.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sir, so many things I have मैंने आज की इस CCF से बहुत सारी चीज़ों को सीखा और बहुत सारी चीज़ों को एक्टिविटीज़ को ऐसा सोचा कि अपनी क्लासेस में हम इनको इम्प्लीमेंट करते हैं किस तरीके से और फ्रूटफुल तरीके से कर सकते हैं. सो मुझे बहुत सारी लगभग जयश्री मैम ने जो चीजें प्रेजेंट की वो सारी की सारी चीजें बहुत अच्छी तरीके से मैंने इन चीजों को ग्रैस्प किया और कोशिश करेंगे कि अपनी कक्षाओं में उनको इम्प्लीमेंट करें।
So एक या दो चीज कोई ऐसी जो आप शेयर करें जो आपके लिए एकदम स्टैंड आउट करी आज।
सर जो उन्होंने म्यूजिकल जिस तरीके से वो संज्ञा सर्वनाम उन्होंने कहा था कि चूंकि मैंने ये पिछले वाले सीसीएफ में जब था तो मैंने क्लास में वो एक्टिविटी कराई थी, लिंग और वचन 2 ही टॉपिक को मैंने कवर अप किया था, लेकिन इन्होंने कहा कि अनेकार्थक, एकार्थक, लिंग, वचन सारी चीजों को हम निकाल करके एक साथ रीडिंग के साथ साथ उसको कर सकते हैं। तो ये चीजें मुझे लगा कि अगर हम बच्चे को पढ़ा रहे हैं, अगर वो सारी चीजें रिवीजन हम करा रहे हैं तो सारे टॉपिक को हम उस दौरान करा सकते हैं। ये चीज मुझे अच्छी लगी।
Interesting. Okay, wonderful. Yes, Ashwini, let's go for another one and then we will end. आज हिंदी टीचर्स का बोलबाला है। Manisha ma'am, any something very interesting for you and some wishes for you maybe for today's presentation?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes. सर आज की एक्टिविटी में जो मुझे लगा कि जो पीबीएल जो बोला गया है उसको अलग तरीके से इन्होंने जो किया है, गोदावरी वगैरह का जो चीज की है और इन्वॉल्व किया है बच्चों को, वो अच्छा लगा। और न्यूज़पेपर एक्टिविटी मुझे भी अच्छी लगी कि हिंदी में हम उसको इम्प्लीमेंट बहुत अच्छे तरीके से कर सकते हैं।
कोई विश आज के सेशन के लिए कि ये अगर ऐसा होता तो शायद और बेहतर होता। एनीथिंग दैट यू वुड लाइक टू शेयर?
ऐसा तो कुछ खास नहीं लगा सर, मुझे सभी अच्छा लगा। आज दोनों प्रेजेंटेशन बहुत ही अच्छे थे। थैंक यू।
ठीक है मनीषा मैम, थैंक यू सो मच एवरीवन। टेक केयर, हैव अ गुड इवनिंग, बाय।
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I would like to request all the teachers to please fill in the feedback form.
अब कैसा है तुम्हारा माइक? चल गया भाई?
सर दूसरे डिवाइस से ज्वाइन किया, मोबाइल से ज्वाइन किया। Okay. Teachers, please fill in the feedback form. I've shared in the chat box.
Ma'am, I have filled. May I go?
Yes, please. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.